that fun stuff. So let's
Yeah.
get started.
Oh my.
Like I said, I haven't missed a Monday yet. I'm not about to.
Yeah.
Plus, and then if I decided to miss a Monday, that would be the day that everybody decided to actually show up. You know?
Oh, oh, well,
Where were you, Rob? We were there 5 minutes early this Monday.
exactly. Exactly.
It's like one of those you can't win for losing type of situations here. It looks like we're going live here. All right.
Yeah.
If I decided to miss a Monday, let me mute myself here. You know?
Oh, oh,
There we
well.
go. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome. My name is Robert Blakely. This is the Lost Transition Monday Mastermind. So we've been doing this for 5 years now. Literally 5 years. I have not missed one Monday. It was funny because before we started this live, I was talking about a buddy of mine. Won't say his name. He'll know who I'm talking about if it is, if he actually watches the replay. But it was funny because he's a veteran as well. And he said, I'm working too hard. He said, I should allow people to have the day off. And I just kind of laughed and said, well, I haven't missed a Monday in 5 years, so I'm not about to miss one. So for me, when I look at the information that we're sharing, and if you're a person that's in network marketing, you're not at your 9 to 5 job, then you should probably be in here learning how to get away from that job and not have to worry about that 9 to 5 so much, right? Hey, Vicky, glad you made it. So anyway, today is something very important that we're going to talk about, just like all other weeks. But this is week 21. We're going to be talking about the assumptive close. But before I get too deep into it, I just kind of want to preface today's information, right? Like, if you've been here for any amount of time, you know that all of these presentations that we have, at least the 52 weeks that we have scheduled, are also that we can give you a piece of sales psychology and network marketing, growing your business. And if you take something from each one of those and you pull the good out of it and take notes, by the end of this year, you'll learn quite a bit of things that you didn't know before that you'll be able to use to your benefit and be able to use all these skill sets to grow your business, right? So that's why we meet here every Monday. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to subscribe, turn on the bell notification. It helps our channel grow, helps get the message out because this information that we're sharing is free. We're not asking for any money, but we could use your help with a little like or a comment if you're watching us on YouTube. So, that being said, 5 years ago, we started on this mission. And as I have conversations with my online wife and friend Rita here, I really have told her she knows it the best because I express my feelings to her and my wife the most. But 5 years ago, I did not know that we would be here right now, 5 years later, doing this mastermind every single Monday. I had no idea. I just knew that there was an intention. I had to do something about my intention. I set the time frames and what I was, you know, going to accomplish. And for those of you that may not know, we used to do these Monday masterminds, and we were going 2 hours deep, 2 hours long. So after some time, we realized, well, some people needed to get to other presentations, which is kind of similar to what we were talking about jumping on today's call, saying that if you're not at your job and you want to learn more, then you should be on this presentation. If nothing else, watch the replay or something. But we trust that you're doing something valuable for yourself, even if it's not hanging out with us, right? But back to my train of thought, so to speak. It's 5 years ago. We didn't realize that we were still going to be out here on Mondays trying to teach everybody that we could. But now, even more so, there's more of an underlining issue, for the lack of better terms, for myself, if nothing else, to continue on with what we're going through and dealing with. Well, I love that graphic, by the way, Rita. Great job. But the reason that I say that is because now, If you don't know, I'm building out our website in the background, and I've been building that website out for about 11 months now. So it's been a labor of love, uh, challenging to say the least, learning artificial intelligence and how do you can use that artificial intelligence to actually program things. Because I'm not a programmer at heart. In fact, when I first came online some 15 plus years ago, we had to learn a little bit of HTML, but it wasn't a lot that I learned, right? It was like how to open a command and how to close a command. Those were the biggest things. And then a lot of it just came from repetition and practice. And then even like I say now, a lot of that stuff that we did back then was copy and paste. So you hear a lot of people say, hey, if you can copy and paste, you could do this industry, which I believe to be true. But there's also some things that you must learn, right? Which is why we put this together and why we meet every single Monday. It's my mission and my goal to do what I can to take the 40 plus years of knowledge and education that I have in the direct marketing world or marketing world in general, because I've done tons of different marketing, and be able to teach people in such a way that we remove the boundaries, remove the fear, remove, the sense of regret, and also remove the amount of objections that you're going to have in your life, right? Because for somebody like myself that's been dealing with marketing for 40 years, I could tell you that the negativity that you might get throughout this journey, especially the no's that you might get throughout this journey, can literally break a person down. Right? I've seen it. I've said it before. I've had agents that I've trained that have literally been on the side of the curb crying because of getting a no. And that's where I learned a little bit more about beyond the military. Learned a little bit more about having thicker skin, tough skin. And then after having some mentorship with one of my mentors, another cool thing that he instilled in me that I pass on to everybody else is being married to the process, but divorced from from the outcome. So if you don't know what that means, because maybe it's your first time ever hearing it, well, there's a specific process that myself and other successful network marketers go through. We're not so worried about the outcome as we are about the process itself, right? So if you can go and create a process that works for yourself, learning all these intricate things that we teach here about sales psychology and how to have basic conversations, then the odds of you succeeding are going to be a lot higher than somebody that doesn't show up, right? Again, going back to that same mentor, he talks about it. In fact, he talked about it this weekend, dropped a post and saying it's funny to him and also funny to me now that the people that need the least amount of help are the ones that always show up, right? Like those of you that are here today. Believe it or not, you may think you need a lot of help, but you really don't need a lot of help because you are at least willing to show up and stay close to that fire. But it's the people that don't show up, the people that stay away from that fire, are the ones that'll get cold, that'll take forever for you to have some kind of success in your network marketing business. I say that because the stats are real, and I'm big into numbers. And back in the day, you know, I want to say at least 5 years ago. Back in the day, 5 years ago, the regular expectation for somebody coming online and having some kind of small success was roughly about 5 years, right? So you had to come on board, you had to learn all these things and implement and work and go to these different classes and learn as much as you can, but ultimately anywhere from 3 to 5 years, 5 years on a conservative side. Now, with the advent of artificial intelligence and people like myself that are willing to coach without a crazy price tag on it, you can literally have some success within 30, 60 to even 90 days. But the big part that I always claim is that you must be coachable, right? If you're not coachable, it's going to be difficult for myself to get you across any kind of finish line in 30, 60, or 90 days. It might take a little bit longer, but ultimately, what I'm getting at is it's not going to take you 5 years if you really want what we're talking about bad enough, right? it doesn't matter what network marketing company that you get into. Well, kind of does, but do your research first. Anyway, the whole purpose of this conversation is to kind of lead you guys on a better path so that you don't have so many struggles. And normally what we do is we start the process off with wins from those of you that are in the audience, those of you that show up every week. I love doing this because I love living vicariously through you guys. As any of you guys are watching right now, I don't want to steal Rita's thunder, but look at that graphic she made. Like, OMG, that is amazing. It's professional. It looks beautiful. Not that I'm stalking my online wife or anything, but she's got a lot of comments, a lot of likes. Last I remember, I think it was about 40 likes or so, Rita. I don't know. Might be more than that. But the point that I'm making is Rita's here all the time. She's here every week. She's right next to the fire. She's ready to learn. You have Dorea here. You have Vicky here. And we've seen Vicky go through a lot of struggles. And I get goosebumps as I think about this. And just to see where Vicky's come and where she is now is just, I absolutely love it. And I love, love, love it. Vicky, did you have something that you wanted to say or add? See your
Yeah,
hand.
I'm not really dressed to be on the camera, but
That's all right.
yes, I'm very excited because I have learned so much in the last 2.5 years that I finally feel like I am doing things the way I need to be doing them. I did get up a nice profile for myself and everything, and I did do a video in the Lost Transition. So I'd like to see what everybody's feedback is on that at some point.
Okay.
So it's a little different, but I think it's cool, and I think it's as close to my voice as we're gonna get for right now. So it's pretty cool. But I'm
Well,
excited. I love it. I've learned so much, and I'm just really appreciative of all of it. And it's definitely worth the time and the effort to come every week.
I love it. Love it. Thank you for that feedback and those wins, man. That's a great way to start us off. You know, um, I'm not going to speak for Vicky, but I know that right now Vicky seemingly has a problem. She got too many leads. I don't know. That's a problem I'll take any day, right? Having too many leads. And hi, Tony. Glad you made it. So thank you for sharing that, Vicky. Anybody else got some wins that they want to share before we dive into these slides? 385 of them to follow up with. Geez, 385 leads for Vicky to follow up with.
Oh, wow, wonderful.
That's what I'm talking about. Someone's coachable.
I have I live in a small town and we recently lost Office Depot and where I used to do all my like marketing, printing jobs and stuff like that. I didn't really care about the store because that was competitive, but the printing stuff and having it local was really impacted me and some of the things that I was doing. Lo and behold, found out that one of its workers, her and her husband created a printing job here in town. So I saw the sign forever, but I finally decided to stop by and realize that, oh, this is the same person that used to work with me at the Office Depot. And so her and her husband went out and just did a leap of faith and started their own printing shop. And so AI and I wrote a book for Ari, my niece that has cerebral palsy, and wrote a book about friendship with her and her new bestie that she discovered during play dates with Ari. And so we're able to use her as our first, as using them for the first time to actually print out the book for me. So if I'm able to attach at least the front page, I'll show you guys in the chat. But I'm so grateful that, these people, they're just starting their business, so I'm sure they need help with their business, being an employee, being really good and just doing that leap of faith and finding that out. So I'm really excited about that, and I think that's a good win.
Amen. Amen. And I agree with you. And even better, let's dig into this even deeper because you have the wherewithal and the foresight to actually go in and take some action to talk to them and look at how the universe aligned for you. Ooh, gives me goosebumps when I think about it. Look how the universe aligned for you. That's the key thing right there, right, Duray? It literally it will, and I just want to dig into this for a minute because if people really understood, like you can listen to a bunch of people say all this stuff all the time, even myself, but until you actually experience it and you notice it and you have that self-awareness that it's actually happening, that's when you'll start grasping onto those things that we're talking about. When you physically see them working and manifesting in your life, especially like what we're talking with Dorea, how big of a world is it for her to have that complete company go out of business and then have nowhere else to turn, go turn to this place, and then there are those same people that were there. Like to me, that's
Yeah, right. That was awesome.
it's magical, and it means something. Like, oh, I tell you, like, ooh, you see that? It just to me, it's like it's to me, it's telling me to tell you, in case you're not listening, stay on course. Stay on course. Stick with what you're doing because you're making a big impact. You may not even see it right now, but let's say 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years down the road, imagine the massive impact that you can make and how many lives that you can change. So kudos to you, Drea. Thank you for joining us. I always appreciate when you pop in here. Being a fellow veteran, happy Memorial Day. Love you, sister.
Yay.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Shared file in the meeting if y'all want to click and take a look at the book. Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, fun and games. That's cool. That is super cool, Dorea. Thank you for sharing. Super cool. Cool. Anybody else have some wins they want to share before we get into the content?
Okay, I do. I was
Okay,
waiting for
you go,
everybody
you
else to
go.
go.
You go.
So I this speaking about being coachable, I thought I always was, but maybe I was giving some pushback. Don't know, but maybe not. But the graphic that you were speaking about is just to give you feedback. I've got like 40 different reactions and 25 comments. And so now I'm going back and then answering those comments. But I think what I'm most excited about today, like after our call, I'm going to go into the LTL, the lost transitions site group, not group, but the platform that you have been working on.
Yep.
And so I will be using the timer, doing my 5 per hour for the next 4 hours. So from 1 to 5, I will be doing the 5. I'll be recording my activity right within the platform because there's a place that I can put my notes, and then I can always also set the calendar so that I know when to go back and then just indicate that I'm going to make another comment, and that will start the process. So and why am I doing that? Who am I? Who is this for? It really just depends. It could be for Money Mastery for Munchkins. It could be for Legal Shield. It doesn't matter. Whatever their profile says, whoever's in that group, the people that make comments, it could be for the lost transition group. So I'm going to, once I do that, I can then, once they answer back, I will then put them in the pipeline, which that pipeline is a very cool visual for me. I need that because this way you don't forget where people are and what you said, and everything is so neatly compact. And this is what I see so that I can always go back and see what I've done without going to an Excel spreadsheet, finding those post-it notes, looking through a calendar. Everything is right there. And so I'm really excited about the about using that new tool. So thank you for that.
Cool. Well, thank you for being coachable, and you'll probably love this too. There's an addition that I thought about that we're going to add to the Lost Transition, and that's whenever anybody signs up underneath your affiliate link, they're going to automatically go into your CRM. So that
Oh,
should be pretty neat. But today, I would recommend if you would, those people that did comment,
hmm
put them into the CRM. Let's see what we can do with them. Let's see what
Okay.
direction. Oh, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Each one, you go, comment, start, comment, grab the link, enter it in, start the conversation. Hey, how's it going? Thanks for your whatnot, right? And then watch
Mm-hmm.
that timer. See if
Okay.
it's blinking yellow or red. Oh man, Rita, I'd love to sit here and talk to you all day, but I got a few more people that I got to get back to.
Gotcha. 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 Gotcha.
You'll be
And it's
welcome.
so funny because somebody's reached out to me that I do know, and she said, we can chat for about 5 minutes. Give me a call when you can.
Yeah,
So they're already doing that. So
yeah.
and thank you, Doree. I appreciate your feedback. So I'm really excited. And I thank you for that.
You're very welcome. Thanks for being coachable. Any other wins that you want to share? Anyone?
I came
Hi.
in at the end of the conversation about book, the
Okay. Dorea's book?
Reyes book.
Yes.
But that last image, I have some images of wheelchair athletes that I would love to just flash through if you
Cool.
know.
So, Dorea, get with Dr. Lisa. She's got some images to share with you.
Yay. Okay, will do. Thanks.
Awesome. Glad, Dr. Lisa. I appreciate you being here. So, I don't have a whole lot of wins. I mean, we win all the time, but my big win before we get into these slides is we've got another member to the Lost Transition. And as I was explaining to Rita, it's quite interesting as I'm building this out that we've already got members that are starting to come in, and I don't have it completely built yet, but it's neat to see the overall vision actually starting to work, even though we're not even done. This new person that joined us in the Lost Transition, super awesome that he joined us. But it was we connected through a Facebook group, just like the things that I teach you guys, right? And somebody had commented within that group asking for some information, just asking a basic question. So, what do I do as a leader? I go in there and just answer the question to my best ability, try to show some value. And also, I told her, I said, hey, if you want access to my free 5 day boot camp, let me know. Well, it wasn't even her that responded to it. It was somebody else that saw and read because as I teach you guys, pretend everybody's watching, right? This is some random person came across the feed, saw what I posted. Next thing you know, he was like, "Hey, I'm interested in it." I'm like, "Great, uh, let's connect, and I'll give you all the details." Well, before I even could send out that and connect, he had already gone to my profile, taken a look at my header graphic, which is the one with me holding the Ten Commandments of network marketing. Responded back to me saying that he loved the header and went on to click onto one of the links that I had shared through the Lost Transition that I shared onto my Facebook page because I've changed that recently because of my love-hate relationship for Facebook. Anyway, guy signed up. It's free. Like that's not a big deal to me, but the point is that I'm trying to make is when a system starts working for you, it's like it's pretty cool to see, right? And we're not even done with it. So that's my win for today. We we're gonna see what we can do to bring on one person per day if that's possible until everything starts culminating. But right now, I'm working heavily on the CRM, like what Rita's asking about, because I know that that's a big factor for people. So if we could go and put our contacts in there and get through them in such an efficient manner, that's going to be pretty important for us. Next thing that I'm really focusing on is the conference system, but the emails, the way that they're going to go out, which is pretty cool I think, yes, we did adopt a little bit of now site modeled after, shall we say. But you'll be able to go in there, create a business profile, whatever that business profile is, click a button, it will automatically write those emails for you. That'll be in the look, try, or book section so that when you go and you take your CRM contact and you put them in there, you slide them over to the new, and automatically there's an email that's going to go out for that, right? Same thing when it comes to sending that email out. It's going to automatically go into your calendar, and in 3 days, it's going to ask you to follow up again. So you go 3 days, you follow up. Okay, cool. Slide them over to the next one if you need to. Boom, another email goes out. So I wanted to make sure that the CRM was not only effective but cool to use, easy to understand, and that people would really actually get it pretty easy. So I'm glad. I'm glad you're going to be digging into it today, Rita, and I trust you'll have some fun with it. You got something you wanted to add? And hi, Virgil. Glad you made it, brother.
Yeah, I wanted to say that um, you were talking about people joining. I did have someone who came on board
Yes.
to the
Yeah.
free platform.
Yeah.
So, and I have been working on that because that's why I wanted to test it out, make sure that it does what I need it to do. And you've taken input from us, and it I think it will. I mean, anyway, I'm done. Be quiet,
No, I
Rita.
love it. I love it. Absolutely. And just a comment for the comments there, the feed. Dr. Lisa, I didn't know you lived in Baltimore. I just moved away 3 years ago. See, we all have something. Rita, Dr. Lisa, and DeRay have something in common. I used to live in Baltimore.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, we say be more and be more, baby.
Yes, I should have wore my Be More shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a Be More Humble shirt.
Baltimore was actually my old stomping grounds there for some direct marketing. That's actually where I'm nicknamed Black Rob.
That's funny.
True story, guys. True
Oh, that's
story.
funny. I was gonna write it in the comment, but since we're here,
Yeah,
have you done a presentation on on your lost to transition program thing you're
like
creating?
an open, hey, this is what it does presentation, like to invite
Yeah,
people.
just kind of like it doesn't have to be a live, but just something, a video or
No,
something to show us what you're doing.
yeah, no, I haven't done that yet. What I decided to do is kind of like a soft launch. And it was funny too because when I was talking to Claude, Claude asked me, it's like, okay, well, when are we doing this launch? I said, well, the launch actually, the soft launch happened the day that we got the first paid customer without even talking to him. That was a couple weeks ago. I don't know if I had told you guys about that one or not. I think I did. But so right now I'm trying to do a soft launch so that I can get everything squared away so that I don't have a bunch of members like, yeah, this doesn't work, this doesn't work, this doesn't work. Right now, I'm just working with anybody closely related to the lost transition, anyone that's in the group already that's ready to come on board. I'm going to be obviously taking input from the paid members. And like I told Rita and our other paid members, like if you got something in mind, that's the beautiful thing about what we're doing right now is that we can add that. So if you have something in mind that will benefit everyone, then I have no problem programming something like that in. It just has to fit somewhere along the lines of what we're doing. Right now, my to-do list is getting long, but the basic features are there. Biggest thing I've got to accomplish is the conference room. Conference room is mostly there because I want to be able to stream once, but shoot it out to multiple sources. The overall goal for the lost transition for everybody that does get involved is to get you more eyes on your message, more contacts, more conversations. Uh, so that's the answer. Not yet, but we will. We will. Once I have everything dialed in, then I'll be like, all right, here we go, and we'll open it up for everybody. Make sense? Cool. Virgil, you had something you
Okay.
wanted to add?
No, I was going to say the cool thing about it is that you offer direct feedback and support on the platform. So whenever somebody is using the platform, if there is an issue directly, they know who to talk and they can get that live support, which goes a long way. I am particularly interested in the whole pipeline and to-do list and the 5 minutes a day call because that's actually a tool or a feature that I have not come across yet. Right, I've come across the pipeline type environment with Pipedrive or other software that do have these type of ecosystem. But the fact that you have paired it with an in onboard type coaching clock type goal setting and coaching system is particularly interesting for me. It's actually something that I plan on integrating with the conversation, meaning that If somebody has a rollout or a campaign that they want to put out, I think that would be the ideal tool to help them maintain that rhythm, set the right rhythm, and maintain it, which is always the most important thing when you're starting these
100%.
adventures.
I echo your sentiment 100%, brother. And quite honestly, from you to me and everybody that's watching, this all came about from all of our conversations, all of our trainings, and all of the feedback. That's literally how it all came about, right? And then I thought, okay, well, realistically, like I mentioned at the very beginning, I didn't know 5 years ago when we started on a Monday that we would be in this position, right? And going through this, I said, well, the whole premise of the lost transition is to try to help people earn that income so that they can get away from the job. Well, what if we made an affiliate program, right? And then what if we took that affiliate program and we split the commission so that I never have to worry about the things that I don't want to worry about, i.e., payroll, right? I don't want to have to worry about, oh, I didn't get my commissions or whatever the case may be. No, you log in, you took up your stripe, everything works properly. You refer somebody, you'll get your half, I get my half, or 20 or 60%, whatever level that you decide to join at. And, it may not seem like a lot, and it may not really be too much to many at 20% if you're free, but the 50% and the 60%, that up. You go invite you 100 friends. That will make a huge difference in all of our lives, really, right? So I appreciate that feedback, brother. I look forward to you diving in and
The funny thing about what you're saying and what you have set up, just to play the a little bit of the devil's advocate there, because if I come into the lost transition with my opportunity and the lost transition does what it's supposed to do, I won't be looking at a referral program. I'll be busy cashing in on my own opportunity, because that's the thing, right? The drive behind what you are doing will make it so that if I come into this environment with zero income on my opportunity, well, following these steps will turn it into an income generator. At that point, I might be too busy eating at my table to consider another affiliate program. But then again, who stops at more when there's food on the table? So touche.
right. No, I totally understand. And feeding off of that, part of this also is because literally, like you guys can plug in your people, and if you don't want to train them, I'll train them for you. I have no problem training on the things that I train because I'm training on them already. You know what I'm saying? So the way I look at it is it's kind of an unforeseeable win-win if you really look at it what we're offering, especially for the price. So I trust everybody will join. Can't make y'all join, but whenever you guys are ready, we will be there. First 100 people get an introductory price of 37 bucks a month. It will not go up. After the first 100 people, then it's going to be 47 bucks a month. It will stick there. I think that that's very reasonable. Shouldn't have anybody complaining about price, especially if they're able to come in here and actually learn how to market properly and then also have the right tools, right? So appreciate that feedback, brother. Thank you. Rita, what you got?
Okay, I wanted to say too that I did not name everything that this does, which is why the plan is an awesome plan. And I'm not selling it. I'm just looking to
Sure.
for people to understand the importance of having a system. You think
100.
of McDonald's having a system, and I know that Now Site was systematic in a sense. But the other thing that's cool is that it generates email templates for you too, and if you've ever thought the pipeline, I focus on the pipeline because when you want to know where somebody is in the process, did I send them any information? Oh, let me check my email and see what I sent them. You will know that just by sliding the person's name over. I'm saying just physically, if you have a touch screen, you touch it, you shove it over, or drag and drop it, and you put them in different um in different, I don't know what you call it,
Columns.
columns, yeah. So and the columns have names, so if it's the first time they've seen it, and then whatever, then I don't remember the names, but it is perfect for you once you see what it is to fit you and what you're doing. So that's That's only part of what it does. There are more things that are in there that I'm still learning about, but I like what I see. And so for anybody to, I haven't seen anything that is as hands-on and is as graphic because we do well with pictures. So
Right.
when you say a pipeline, like or a funnel, I'm like a funnel. You throw some names in there. Which way do they go? Who goes left? Who
Right.
goes right? Who goes through?
Right.
But when you actually see it visually presented, you know exactly where they are.
Right.
So it's powerful. But that emailer thing is the bomb.
Absolutely. I concur with you. And let me say one quick thing, and then we got to dive into these slides so we don't go over time. The other thing that I baked into those emails I told Rita about, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with or if you've been on these particular trainings that I've done, but we talked about the F theory when it comes to email marketing. So I've included the F theory for visual. I've also included the 52 character limit rule that I've spoken about as well. So those emails, when they're automatically crafted, they're going to be crafted in my DNA with the rules that I already have learned. So it's as if you're walking in there, plugging in and looking like a professional, so to speak. And all the emails that are generated, the first email especially, is not going to have a link. So I'm like, I don't do that, right? But there's a total of five or six columns. There's a requested column that's going to happen when anybody fills out your conference form, right? Saying that they want to have a meeting with you. They're requesting that meeting. And then there's a new column for any new ones that you type in yourself or here shortly by Tuesday. If you have somebody that you refer, they're automatically going to go into your CRM. Then you can start doing the follow up with them on whatever business it is. But there's a lot of things in there that I've done in communicating with Rita. She understands, and I'm sure Virgil or anybody else that's in the type of background that I have. There was a lot of thought that had to go into this, so that when trigger A happened, trigger B, C through E and F and G automatically happen, and it talks to this and throws it up into here. There was a lot of thought process that went behind it, in other words, is what I'm getting at. So I do trust that you guys will love it. And most of all, again, if you guys have any feedback, by all means, let me know. Did you have anything else you wanted to add, Virgil, or is that a residual hand raise? You good? Cool. All right.
I want to add something.
Okay.
Can you
Uh,
share what the pipeline looks
uh,
like?
sure. Yeah, I could show that real quick.
Okay, because I think the visual representation is
Yeah.
really, really cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I could probably
That,
share mine
that's
too.
that's the beauty about those things. It's a visual map of your agenda and the state of each one of your connection down the goal
Yes,
that you're pursuing.
yes.
And I've already started using it, obviously to test and whatnot. I don't have anything requested because nobody has specifically asked for it. But the way that I envision it, right, is starting off with your profile. It's just like your splash page. If you don't have a page, don't have a website, you come in, create a profile page. You can either upload a video or create your own video. I recommend that you create your own video. Tell them what your mission is, a story based off of what we've been discussing and what you've learned here. Intro, body, close. Close is going to say, hey, click that button next to me if you'd like to have a meeting with me so we could discuss further. They click, they go to the meeting based off of your availability. They'll fill in when their availability is there, put in their name, their email, their phone number, right? And then automatically, boom, you're going to get something in the request column. And then you're also going to get an email saying, hey, somebody requested to have a meeting with you. This way, you're forced to go look at what that meeting time is, schedule everything and
Mhm.
whatnot. Now, once you go and you have that
Excuse me.
meeting and you
Am I
have
the
it,
only one that's seeing a black screen?
uh-oh,
Nope, I see one too. I just thought it was
okay.
lack of
All right,
memory on my part.
one moment, please. Thank you for letting me know. Let me stop sharing real quick.
It flashed the grid with the colors, but
Oh,
then it
interesting.
went black.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was me too. Just loading time.
I'm blind. Help, I can see.
We are not alone.
Good to know, right? Good to know. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, can everybody see it now?
Yes, we see it. Well, we did
Her,
see it.
no, it's gone. It flashed and now it's
Yep.
gone.
Huh. About you, Virgil?
The same thing. It's flashed and then it's gone. It's playing
Yeah.
hide and seek, or seek and hide.
That's odd. At this particular point in time, I don't know what to say. I don't want to blame y'all side
No.
necessarily, but
Try minimizing your screen and then,
I was going to
I
try.
I can try to share mine if
you see
okay,
when you
here's part
minimize
of
it,
it. Okay.
there's a reaction. It
It
might
went
be
away.
that you have a, it might be that you have a recording happening and it's overlaying
Well,
the.
it's going through live, but here's what I will do.
Ah, okay, now we're seeing it.
Yeah?
Oh, it went. It's yeah. Sorry.
What you say? Hey, can't see what? What?
No, it's dark. It goes dark. It flashes and then
All
it
right.
goes dark.
Let's see.
Do you want me to share my screen?
Well, I don't know if that's going to make a difference or not. So we'll go ahead and
Give it a shot and see.
we'll give it a shot. But what I want to please drop in when it's I don't want and of course I'm going to be on slow as pond water, even though I've got fiber internet.
Virgil, do you mind muting while you're not talking?
Oh,
White
sorry.
Thanks.
white noise over there.
It's raining.
Ah, okay.
Wow,
Raining.
that's a fierce rain. It's
Yeah, it's coming down pretty
oh my
good.
gosh.
It's raining cats and dogs. All right, so I'm going to share that in chat. I'm going to stop share. Um, Rita, if you'd like to try real quick, but I don't want to spend too much time because we're running out of time to give the slides.
I know. And I'm on the tablet, so
Oh, good.
um I
Ah,
am I just need to post. And maybe if they put the link in there, that'll
why don't we do this? Just because I want to be observant of everybody's time. Let's go through the slides, and then after we're done with that, if you guys want to stick around, we'll try to do what we can to have you guys see an in-person view. In the meantime, I did put a screen share down in the chat so you guys can kind of take a look and get an idea. Right. Again, I want to make it simple, but at the same time, make sure that it was effective, easy to understand. So you guys should be able to open up that image and kind of get a better idea. Sound good?
Perfect. I grabbed it. That's
Cool.
great.
Okay. Awesome. Again, I just want to make sure that we get through today's content and be observant of everybody's time. All right, so back to what we're talking about here. And because I've already given you quite a dialogue, today is week 21. It's the assumptive close, okay? And as I was mentioning at the very beginning, we've got 52 weeks that we've got planned out, different sections, different things. We're still in phase three, the sales psychology fundamentals, right? So today's week 21, we're going to talk about the assumptive close. Again, if there's something you can pull from this and remember at least one thing from it, you can collectively pull one thing out of all of these trainings and eventually you start practicing and understanding how these things work. You'll get really good at having conversations. You'll get really good at knowing what people are going to say before they even say it. It's I say this all the time. It might sound funny, but seriously, you will be like Neo in the Matrix. There are many times when, as soon as somebody opens their mouth and says something, I'm like, okay, this is going to take a long time to hear this response. Then I got to go back to some of the other trainings that I've taught you guys about, like level one listening, right? Or pen to mouth, as an example, if you haven't heard that one, right? Today I'm going to talk about the assumptive close. We have to understand that the information I'm sharing with you when it comes to the assumptive close, and I'm kind of giving it away a little bit, needs to be that person or potential prospect needs to be above the buying line when you're working on the assumptive close itself. Now, I want to say that because I want to make sure that everybody understands there's nothing wrong with you being assumptive, and you should be assumptive. If you don't know what that means, definitely chime in and I'll give you a better take on it. Right? It goes in alignment with, I hate to say it this way, but it goes in alignment for me when I heard the act as if, right? So you have to act as if, just like you would pre-assume or be an assumptive closer on the fact that they will already buy, right? So in your mind's eye, you have to know in your heart of hearts that they're going to buy before you even start the conversation, right? Because if you have in your mind, oh, I don't know if these people are going to say yes or not, what you're doing is you're psychologically setting yourself up for failure, right? So every customer that I talk to, I go in with the assumption that I'm going to have what they need and I'm going to explain it to them just the right fashion and I'm going to lead them to the finish line. And I'm going to be very assumptive in everything that I do. Why? Because I'm the leader. Okay. I'm the one in charge. I'm the one that's taking the reins. I'm the one that's owning the message, right? And I've said this before many times, recently too with Rita. Customers only know what you tell them, right? So a lot of times where people get tripped up, especially in the sales world, is we'll say too much, or we'll say something that will actually open up a bag of worms, open up those answers to objections. If you learn all these things that I'm teaching you, so that they coincide with how it works, even down to how you slide it from look to try or book, right? All of this will help it become very easy for you to close people. Like I mentioned before, right? We just had a new customer come in, didn't know him from Adam. I'm happy with that. A couple weeks ago, we had a new paid customer. I didn't even say one word to that guy, right? And I guess my point that I'm trying to make at is that when you have a system like Rita said, and what we've been talking about, myself and Virgil trying to instill in you guys, that's when things start working. That's when you can really scale out, right? Now, I can't go do Facebook ads because, again, my love-hate relationship with Facebook. But if I was to do Facebook ads, man, this is the system that I would want, right? So that I can have all the tools in one place, be able to have the conversations, and a lot of it working on autopilot for me so that I don't have to spend a bunch of needless time behind my desk, right? Because as I've said before, I don't want you guys in front of your desk for 6, 8, 10, 12 hours at a time. Me, yes, I'll do that because I'm in the middle of programming what we're doing, right? But whenever I'm not programming and I'm just focusing on my business, the most that I spend online in any day is typically 4 hours. Within those 4 hours, if I do what I'm teaching you guys properly, that means 5 per hour. That means that I should end up talking to 20 people per day. If I do that over a 5-day work week, hello, that's 100 people per week. If I do that over 1 month, that's 400 people per month that I'm having a conversation with, right? That does not mean that I'm going to close all 400 people, right? But if those 400 people are actually my avatar and people that need what it is that I have, odds are I'm going to sell quite a bit. And I'm going to sell quite a bit without me even having to sell because I'm creating the environment that they need and creating the solution that they deserve. Okay? So when I talk about the assumptive close, I need you to understand a lot of it really is going to come from confidence. You're not going to get that confidence until, again, you've actually applied these things that we're teaching you, see how they work or do not work, especially if they don't work. Ah, why did it not work? Ah, this is why, because I did this or that or the other. Right? I've mentioned this plenty of times. If I ever get a no, I know exactly where I screwed up. Right? Maybe I tried to present too quick or tried to close too quick. Any one of those things could happen, right? But regardless of what I'm doing throughout my experience with the potential prospect, number one, I want to do everything that I can to create a great environment. Number two, give a great first impression because you never get a second chance to make a first impression. And then number three, I want to be assumptive in everything that I do. Okay. So that being said, there's a core principle behind it, right? When it comes to being the way that I want you to be, it's being confident. And again, you're not going to have that confidence unless you believe in yourself. You need to have a love for yourself that You can kiss yourself. Not arrogance, understand, okay? But be in love with yourself enough that you know that you are confident enough because you can accomplish many things. Whether you believe that right now or not, that's not the issue, okay? If you don't, we can work on it. But ultimately, at the core of this, you have to speak and act as if they've already decided. Again, part of the assumptiveness. Well, why would that person reach out to me if they weren't already interested, right? But the assumptive close isn't about tricks or pressure, right? I've told you guys this before. All of this stuff that I'm teaching you can be used for good or it can be used for bad or even to manipulate people. Don't do that, right? There's this thing called karma, and she will bite you in the ass. But if you learn these things and you're doing them the right way and you're effective, you're assumptive on your clothes, you're going to gain that confidence. You're going to know that you're the shit and you're there and you can help people, right? When you understand this, you believe it. Now, whoop, your value skyrockets because once you understand that you're in charge of your paychecks and it's based off of how many conversations you have and how much you're selling, like the sky's the limit, right? Sky's the limit, literally. I had mentioned this before. Don't know if everybody was on, but the guy that came and sold me the light fiber, I asked him about how much he makes for each deal. He was saying $200 a deal. Are you kidding me? $200 a deal? We were making 10 deals a day. That would be 2 grand a day. Guys, can you raise your hand real quick if you would be happy with $2,000 a day? I see Virgil's hand up. I see Dr. Lisa's. Like 2 grand a day. Could we have more? Sure. Absolutely, right? I just want you to think about the math for just a moment. Because what we were doing back then, 17 plus years ago, we were only getting paid $10 per customer. Can you imagine that? But back then, we do a 10 pack and we were happy to make $100 a day. How many of you would be happy with $100 a day? Right? Because that's nothing to laugh about either. $100 a day times a 5 day work week. Typically, we work six, so that was $600 times a 4 day, 4 week, right? 6, 12, 2,400 bucks, right? Yeah. Now, if you went out there and you hustled and you got 10 a day, but you were like a superstar, well, guess what happens once you start getting those 10 a day? Guess what happens once people tell you no and you're able to answer their objections and get them to turn around and realistically think about it and say yes? What do you think happens to your confidence level? What do you think I sit here in front of you looking so confident? It's because I've closed a lot of people. I've ran into those rejections. I've been able to overcome those objections, turn around and get a sale. I've told you guys before, I've had people that I've walked up to with 3 or 4 people that I'm training saying, no, 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 no. Sit down right next to him, defuse him, start a conversation, go right into my pitch, close the guy, walk away with the sale, and him say, thank you, Robert. Thank you. That builds confidence. So if you don't have that level of confidence, we have to get you some wins so you feel confident, which is shamingly enough, part of why I want you to tell me your wins, right? I want to hear those wins so that you feel them so that you get more confidence. Virgil, you got something you want to add? Or is that still residual?
No, no, I actually was going to double down on that because this is so important. For example, when you are negotiating contracts, right? When that contract is still up for debate, well, it's your level of confidence that drives your point across. It's a level of confidence that allows you to stand on the points that have value for you into the contract. So yes, coming into the conversation that you want to close with that level of certainty, it's also something that is built into your product knowledge and your client knowledge, right? I know what this person needs. I know how to match this with the product. When I come in, I speak with that level of trust, expertise, dense confidence,
Yeah.
right? If it gets confusing, that's one of the things. Do I know my product? Do I speak with trust? That will have me pull through with confidence, and that's a different level of interaction.
Yeah,
You,
100%. I completely agree with you. And you said actually a forbidden word, which is contract. So I'm sure that once you get this, right? you'd be okay with signing that piece of paper that mutually agrees that we would be working together, right? You see what I did there?
Yeah, contract. Be careful with that one, basically. Like that
You
one.
said I'm like contract. What? I ain't trying to sign no contract.
Yeah, it's very touche because it brings in back that transactional tone into what is supposed to be a future relationship agreement, right? Or a core. So yeah, no, no, it's very touche.
Just having fun there. So here's the difference though, right? One is asking and then the other is assuming. This is where we need to really define for you guys, if you will. And also I want to make sure that you guys are clear here in the next section on what I might do versus what you should probably do, right? So asking somebody is like, so do you think you might want to try this? I mean, even as I say it, I'm like, oh my God, my body language is horrible. And I'm like, do you think you want to try this? Would you maybe be interested in joining? My funny voice, right? My caricature voice. Let me know if you decide to move forward. How sheepish is that, guys? Right? And I'm not picking on you if you guys are out there saying this because it's low level stuff, right? Most of us say this at the very beginning when we don't know what we're talking about. But when it comes to assuming versus asking, it's more so you would say, well, here's what we do next. Again, being that leader and showing them the way across the finish line. Right? If you're the leader, they're only gonna know what you tell them. So you need to tell them the right thing so you can lead them across the finish line. It's literally that simple, right? But if you're sheepish and you're afraid of asking and you're worried about it, well, then that confidence level doesn't show. And remember, a sale is nothing more than the transference of emotions. That emotion that you're transferring is not going to be the emotion that you want to transfer, right? So instead, assume, say, when you get started, the first thing you'll do is, right? Or I'll send over the details so we can get you rolling. That's assumptive. That's an assumptive close, assuming they're already on board, right? One sounds uncertain, the other sounds like a leader, right? So you want to sound more like the leader than the person that's uncertain. Now, for this, the buying line connection, as I mentioned, the assumptive close works when they're above the buying line. Okay. If you haven't seen the buying line, you don't know what I'm talking about, let's get together or something because this is very crucial that you understand what the buying line is, how to recognize it, and how to use it to your best ability. Right. Give you a key indicator if they're open, their hearts are open and they're curious and or even maybe convinced or committed, then assuming they're ready is the right way to go. Okay. But if they're below that buying line, or maybe they're skeptical, they might even have a few questions because you said too much and you brought up these questions for them. Or maybe they're just analyzing, can I actually make this work? Can I make money with it? Or maybe they're protective or even resistant, right? That is not the time for you to go assuming the close. The only reason that I'm explaining this so that you guys really get grasp the concept is because yes, you want to be assumptive. Yes, you want to be very confident in what it is that you're doing. But again, I'm going back to all of my old lessons that if you pick each one up and you can put them all together, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say level one listening. I must hear what my customer is telling me before I respond. In fact, quick little funny about this that I was telling Rita about. I was working with Claude over this week and weekend, and I actually taught Claude about the buying line and a few other things. It was really kind of neat that I was training my AI on some things that I would have thought that it would have known, but the verbiage is different, perhaps, right? Point that I'm making, if they're below that buying line in logic, doubt, or any kind of resistance, then the assumptive close is just going to feel pushy, right? Timing is everything. So you have to have the conversation to intro, body, close. You're also going to change the person's state. You're going to go back and forth like the tennis match or boxing match that you hear me talk about. You'll ask them some questions. When you know that they're above the buying line, that's when you become very assumptive. Oh, it sounds like you got everything figured out. Did you have any more questions? No, I don't. Cool. Well, here's what we'll do. Next thing I need to do is send you over the link, get you started. Once you get on board, let me know, and we'll get you plugged in. Like literally, that's my script. That's my line. Right? But there's five buying signals. Okay. Make sure that you're aware of these because these are the things that you need to be listening the most intently for using that level one listening. Right. Number one, they ask how questions. Well, how do you this? Or how does it work? Or how do I get started? That's a buying signal. That's good. You want this, boys and girls. Right. Number two, they talk about the future. Oh man, when I do this, I can see me doing this or that or the other. I mean, think about what you heard Rita say. Oh yeah, I could see myself going in there, putting in the CRM and stuff. She's doing that, right? She's talking about the future. Number three, they bring up logistics. Oh, what's the time commitment? Like, oh, what days are those? Oh, on Mondays? Okay, well, I can't make those, but are they recorded? Right? They're asking those typical questions that you want to and need to hear. Number four, their body language opens up. For this, you have to remember what I talked to you guys about when I say mirroring the customer to diffuse the customer. You can do that too, right? If I'm personally talking to a customer, they're like this, I'm going to stand like this, diffuse the customer. Now their body language opens up. Now I can access them, right? But I can't do that if they're closed off like this. You'll never, ever, ever get a no. Well, maybe one time, but never. And then number five, which is beautiful, when you get this all figured out, they overcome their own objections. I guess I could make time for this. I guess wife wouldn't be too pissed off. Yeah, I guess we could afford this, right? This is what I'm getting at, guys, when it comes to this whole objection thing. And our buddies, Jeremy Miner and Todd and everybody else is out there trying to teach people how to answer these objections. What if you just didn't have the objections? What if you knew and understood sales psychology enough that you could have somebody be attracted into your world, see you as the leader, and you help them literally just cross the finish line, right? But when you see two or three of those buying signals, that's when it's time to start assuming the close, right? When they've answered two to three of those, now it's like, all right, this person's on board. This is the mentality and also that emotion you guys might have heard me talk about to where I know what direction to take them in. Because if I'm not getting any of these buying signals, then I can't take them in the direction that I want to. I have to observe whatever that roadblock is and get rid of the roadblock so that I can now go back to gearing them or driving them in the right direction. Right? Whoever's writing on the presentation there, silly people. I don't know if you could get rid of that reader or not. If you could, that'd be great. So there's a four-step framework, as you guys know. I'll try to pass out what I can, give you guys as much information, write it down, take a screenshot, memorize it, whatever, right? The big thing is number one is confirming the fit. So confirming the fit, that's actually going to come from pre-qualification, right? So if you pre-qualify somebody and it's like, it sounds like this is exactly what you've been looking for, thank you. Then that's what you want, right? Because if you're not confirming the fit first, now you're going to go and try to sell them. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to sound pushy. You're going to bring up all these objections. Okay. Next, number two, once you confirm the fit, is to transition forward. So here's what we do next. Going back to what I had mentioned to you before. You're the leader. You're going to tell them what to do. They're going to do what you tell them because they only know what you tell them. Number three, give clear next steps. That's part of you telling them what we're going to do next, right? And then number four, handle naturally. If they hesitate, like here's the cool thing, right? If they hesitate, doesn't mean that you have to pull away and retreat. You can address it and then move forward. This is what I was kind of alluding to earlier when I came to this frame, when I came to this slide, right? So four steps: confirm, transition forward, give clear next steps, and then handle it naturally. If they hesitate, you don't have to retreat, right? We have three basic functions as humans: it's fight, flight, or freeze, right? So we don't need to flight, we don't need to fight, and we don't need to freeze. We just need to handle it and then continue moving forward, okay? But if they don't have any questions, no uncertainty, all you need to do is just show your leader, right? Now, there's a difference between being confident and pushy, obviously, right? Many of you guys probably don't need me to tell you this, but there's a difference, right? Confident assumes based off of the buying signals that I just explained to you. I'm actually guiding them with clarity because I'm the leader and I'm the one that's going to show them point A to point Z. I stay calm if they hesitate because if I like, oh my God, and freak out, well, guess what? Now that emotion comes into play and they're like, why is this person freaking out? They must be trying to sell me something. Oh my God, my cars go up. No, no, no. It's a trap. Right? I've got to respect their autonomy. Focus on whatever their transformation is. Well, what is it that you're trying to do? Whether it's lose the 10 pounds, lose 50 pounds, or 100. Now, if we're going to be pushy, well, then what are we going to do? We're going to assume that they're ready to buy without building any rapport, without building a relationship. We're going to ignore them if they have any hesitation. We're just push, push, push. Yeah, come on. Yeah, we'll figure that out later. Yeah, just jump in. Grab your spot, grab your spot, grab your spot. Right? If we're too pushy, you're going to create that pressure. You're going to create what it is that I'm telling you and talking to you about. You will literally create the objections that will get in your way to close somebody. Crazy, right? So, simple. What's the difference? Confidence serves them. Pushy serves you. Okay. Make sure that you're a confidence closer. You've done all the work. You've listened. You've studied with Rob. You got all this cool information. Now you're just listening very intently, and you're making the difference. That's what I trust that you guys will do. Okay. Now, when it comes to handling hesitation without retreating, this is another thing that I was kind of briefly mentioning to you guys. You can retreat, but you don't have to. Okay. And what I mean by that is like when you're first learning, don't be afraid to accept defeat. Okay. Don't be afraid. As long as you're aware of that moment and what's happening, that you're actually retreating because you don't feel comfortable enough to close that or to avoid the hesitation or typically to address the hesitation, right? So if they pause and they say, I'm not sure, you don't have to retreat, right? Normal people say, oh, okay, no pressure. Just let me know whenever you're ready, right? Then move back into that sheepish mentality instead of the assumptive mentality. So if we want to be assumptive, we stay steady. Hey, I hear you. What specifically are you unsure about? So now, because of your verbiage, just so that we're clear, you've created the hesitation because this is what happens. Yes, you create the hesitation based off of your presentation, right? Damn it, Rob. How dare you tell us the truth, right? So you address it. Okay. And you don't have to say it like this, but in my mind's eye, I'm like, oh, well, obviously I screwed up and gave you something to think about. What is it that you're thinking about? All right, let's address this right now before I run and turn my tail tucked between my legs. Let's go ahead and address it. So here's the script for it. Write it down. Take a snapshot if you need to. That makes total sense. This is a big decision. Tell me, what's the one thing that would make this a clear yes for you? What does that line say? It doesn't say then close, right? It says then listen. And then all you got to do is listen because, as I mentioned before, if you use level one listening, they're going to tell you exactly what you need to address. And when you hear it, that's when you address it, right? So that's the easiest way to handle a hesitation. You don't have to run, stay steady, ask specifically what are they unsure about, listen, and then address. Okay? Now, I think we got one slide, if that, one or two slides, and then we're done. But what I'm doing here and teaching you guys is showing you the leadership mindset, the leadership model, right? People are looking for someone to follow. You've heard me say this time and time again. Become the leader that they need. Become the leader or the person that they want to follow. You're not going to have everybody jump on your bandwagon. It's okay. But the ones that see you as their savior, their friend, their their creative mind, whatever it is that they're looking at you for, mostly it's going to be because you're somewhere where they already want to be. And that can even be even in emotional status or even in marriage, right? Rita and I talk about it all the time. Is keeping up with the Joneses, so to speak, right? But look, most people are drowning in options and opinions. Okay, they don't need another choice. They need clarity. They need you to be clear on what it is that your product and company does and how to get them across that finish line. When you assume the close, you're not being aggressive. You're being helpful. You're saying, "I got you. Follow me. Follow me," because I've already been where it is that you want to go. Okay. So here's a couple of quick little last little cheats, if you will. You know, we like to drop gold nuggets and bars around here. Here's a few scripts for you. Write them down. Take a snapshot. Watch this over and over 6 times if you need to. Technically, that's what you could do. You really want to learn this stuff? Go to every single one. We've got 21 of them now from the
And
beginning
you,
of the
there's a
thing.
black box
Oh,
hiding.
dadgummit. But yeah, watch each one 6 times if you can. Let me stop share. I know that's a lot to ask. That's literally what I had to do for my training. I had to watch our videos 6 times so that I could get it, understand it, grasp it, and retain the knowledge. 1 second here. One moment, please. Share. Okay. Do you see it now? Let me know if you can see.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so as I mentioned, write them down, take a screenshot, whatever. Here's 4 quick, short little scripts that will help you. Number one for transition. All right, here's what we do next. I'll send you the link and you can get started tonight. And honestly, I'd rather say, hey, when do you have time? We'll jump on a Zoom and I'll walk you through it. One for logistics. Hey, when you sign up, you'll get instant access. What email should I send it to? That's being assumptive, right? That's really assumptive. That's saying, hey, I know you're ready. Where am I going to send this to you at? Right? God, it's getting hot in here. Kind of turn the AC on. I'm sweating. And then a future pace, because that's kind of what we're involved in and teaching you today is how to understand that future pacing along with the assumptiveness is paint them a small picture of what's going to happen immediately in the future. So once you're in, the first thing you'll notice is da 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 da. By week 2, you'll already be seeing. Anybody remember that from a week or two ago? And then soft confirm. Ah, this sounds like exactly what you've been looking for, doesn't it? Use that soft confirm, guys. Use the soft confirm as nothing more than a test. It's typically, I would include this into what I would call a check back. Check back is nothing more than a quick little question to gauge where they're at in the buying line. Where are they at? Are they cold, warm, hot? Right? But what I want you to notice is that every little script is going to move you forward without questions and no uncertainty. Everybody understand what I'm saying? Right? Like I've said this before. I don't want you to be scripted so that you're robotic. I want you to be scripted so you know what to say on every information. Get it? And if customer A says this, you say this. Customer B says this, you say this. Even down to the same dumb, corny jokes. You know, it was raining here the other day in Texas. Went to go pick up a pack of cigarettes. I say the same corny joke every time it rains. Went up to the cashier. Hey, let me get a pack of cigarettes. She says, oh, yeah, cool. I said, yeah, it's a pretty great day, huh? She said, yeah. I said, if you're a duck, she giggles. That little thing. I mean, imagine the state change that just happened. And all she's doing is she's just my cashier, right? So use those scripts, dial them in, get it together. Make sure you got a intro body close. And we'll probably go into one of those on an inner circle. I've been talking to Rita about that. So you guys understand. My script in itself comes from those 20 plus years of direct marketing to where I know how to write a script to where it's intro, body, and close. I even use that shit in court, guys. I'll use it in court. Same script, same premise, because I know it works. Intro, body, close. Intro, body, close. Intro, body, close. It's driven into my head, right? You can use it every day in court, any situation, but you have to have some kind of script set up. Okay. So that being said, we're 12:19. I'd love to have your takeaways for today. And what buying signals do you see most often in your prospects? Or maybe number two, I'd like you to do too is write out your version of here's what we do next. That's going to help you get scripted. So you already have it written down. You'll verbiage, memorize it verbatim. And once you know it, that's part of your script, guys. But I want you to write out your version of here's what we do next. And let's see what it sounds like. And then number three, how will you handle hesitation without retreating? Right? Because you have the ability to just retreat and say, get scared and run away. Or you can address the situation, use level one listening, and then attempt again. And if they say no, it's okay. It's okay because you're married to the process and divorced from the outcome. So when they tell you no, it's not going to hurt your feelings. You're not going to go want to sit on the corner and cry. You're not going to want to go unalive yourself. Okay? None of that's going to happen. Might feel bad for a few moments, but you'll get over it. Okay? Any takeaways from today, guys? Kind of leaned in on that one, didn't I?
Yeah,
Confidence is
that
key.
Sorry, go ahead. Who was that?
Oh, I just said confidence is key. That's the takeaway for me today. Confidence is key.
It is. I didn't think about it. You can't go out on a date, go to a club, and ask a woman out for a coffee. What's she gonna do? She's gonna say, "Yeah, thank you." What you got? What's your takeaways?
Well, I'm with Virgil too, that confidence is definitely key. That was one of the biggest things that I needed to build back after all the health issues. So that really addressed the last 2.5 years really addressed that issue. The question I have today is there was the one slide about leadership.
Uh-huh.
If you're doing you're putting your best foot forward and you're doing your best to be a good leader, but then sometimes you seem to get, you know, like people kind of get jealous because you're doing better than they are.
Uh-huh.
And but when you're trying to train them, then instead of looking positively at everything that you've just shown them to do, they keep finding the negatives, um and then they make it seem like it's a lack on your part when it's really them not following up and them not doing what they're supposed to be doing, them not taking the actions and making the phone calls and actually copying everything that you've been teaching them to do that's working for you. So it's like I don't know how to get flip that. I want to flip that some.
Okay. I was just gonna
Confidence.
say, I don't hear a question in there more than I hear a statement. But the first thing that I think of when I hear you say that is go back to what we just talked about, what I just said. Be married to the process, divorced from the outcome. That includes your emotions
Okay,
on how other people fucking feel about you. Excuse my French.
I understand. Okay, that's perfectly what I needed to
Because
hear.
of their inability or their ineptness, you cannot allow that to bring you down.
So
Right?
don't own their
No.
issue.
No, why would you do that?
Push forward, push
Yeah, no.
forward.
And say, hey, here's something else, actually, even better information that I could give to you.
Hmm.
I want you to use what we talked about before: compliment, criticize, leave them feeling good.
Okay,
Write that
compliment,
down again.
criticize, leave them feeling good.
Compliment,
Okay.
criticize, leave them feeling good. It works every single time. So if somebody's saying something mess to me, be like, man, you know what? That's pretty awesome. You're very astute.
Mm-hmm.
Compliment, criticize.
Cool.
The only problem I see is that you're sitting here complaining when you're not willing to do the work. That's the
Hmm.
criticize. Leave them
Yes.
feeling good. I bet you if you did the work within 2 weeks, you would see a big difference. You want to put that to the test?
Okay. Now I know what
Compliment,
I need to do.
criticize, leave them feeling good. Compliment, criticize, leave them feeling good. Compliment, criticize, leave them feeling good.
Thank you.
I wanted to add a little bit on that, on what Vicky just said, because in your own questioning, you actually gave your answer. You said it. You do everything right, and they, for lack of appreciation or for challenge of your leadership, keep challenging it. Well, the only thing that you have to keep doing is confidence is key. You drive the point across because that's what people that are resistant to change will tend to do. They'll drag their feet at the process. They'll try to stay in the comfort zone. But by you constantly applying and keeping up, stoking that fire of confidence, it's like, well, just like you said, do it. If you doubt the process, do it and see the outcome. At that point, you'll be able to really criticize the outcome once you've gone through the challenges. And you become that wall of confidence. Well, do it first and then we'll talk about it later. You saw me do it. So that's it. Double down on your confidence. It's the key.
I love that. Love that. Hope that helps. I trust that helps, Vicky. Rita, what you got?
Okay, so I was listening to Vicky, but I also wanted to chime in.
Sure.
Um, I would say it would, and you had mentioned about. I would say, what did you do? Tell me the process because processes work, systems work, which is why it integrates into what you're doing. So let's say they were using your system. All right, first thing I'm going to ask you is okay, tell me what you did. And if you didn't say you did your 5 per hour or your whatever your number is, okay, we can't go any further unless you get to that one. So when you have a system, you can go back to that system. I had a student, I think I was sharing with you about how he needed a grade in order to place a sport. His GPA wasn't up, so he asked me if I would give him a grade. And I said, well, if you do what I told you to do, you wouldn't have a problem. And so I gave him my system. Guess what? He made a B on the midterm. So I gave him the grade. He earned it. All I cared about was whether or not he knew the information. So the systems do work. If they have a system, you just put it back on them. When I had parent conferences, it was like, okay, all I had to do was tell the child to bring their notebook. And then when we had a parent conference, I would say, I asked you to do 3 things. Show me these 3 things in your notebook. And when you couldn't do it, then that means you weren't doing the work. And basically, people fail because they don't do the work.
That's it. It's that damn simple. I hate to say it, but yeah, it's that simple. The other thing to mention, though, guys, that will cut all of this out, all of it, pre-qualify them. That simple. Pre-qualify them. Be the leader that you know you should be, and don't just accept anyone and everybody that wants to join your business just because you want to make money. Have standards. Have a line that you draw in the sand. Right? For me, it's and those inner circle members know. Right? You ask the question, and that question is so important on a scale of 1 to 10. How serious are you? If they don't tell me a 10, I'd say, man, I'd love to have you on the team, but you just don't qualify. What do you think that does psychologically? Let me run that through your guys' brain in case you don't get it.
What do you
Oh man,
mean
I'm
I
gonna
don't
join this thing.
qualify?
Huh?
What do you mean I don't qualify?
Yeah, exactly. Like, hit the brakes. What do you mean I don't qualify? Well, because if you're not a 10, you're gonna quit in 2 weeks, man. I don't want to waste my time or yours. What do you think the mindset is then? They're like, back up, man. I better reorganize my shit. Right? But that literally will take away 90% of the problems that Vicky that you're having or anybody else that might be having them. Pre-qualify your people. They don't say 10 or well, cool. Let me know when you're at 10, man. I'm ready, but I'm not gonna play with anybody if they're not ready to go. Yeah. I don't know if you guys know who Diane Hockman is. She's very successful. She's the same way. She will not be there to try to sugarcoat. She's not going to go and try to get you in her business just like me. Like, I don't want you in my business if you're not ready to rock and roll.
I wanted to say too
Yeah.
that that I've had my feelings surgically removed. That has helped me a
Yeah.
lot. And
Um,
also the main thing when people get all bent out of shape, I talked to 5 people, they said no. Well, you always say divorce yourself from the outcome. So it's almost like I don't give a crap if you do or not. I'm just sharing the information. That's all I'm
exactly.
supposed to be doing next. So those have helped to, I guess, give me confidence as Virgil was speaking about, but also it gets me to understand that there are how many hundreds of thousands of people that are out there. Then I'm focusing on 5 that said no, I can't do that. So
Right.
um, I have to cut off that feeling side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you got to
so I
remove the emotions.
yeah.
You must remove the emotions. Absolutely. Okay, they say yes, great. If they say no, that's great too. Like either way, that no should not affect your life. It really should not affect your life. When you start allowing the no's to affect your life, then you're going to start going on a downward spiral. And then all those things that we talked about with you crying on the side of the corner are going to happen. Right. So definitely don't do that. Appreciate that feedback. All right. So, guys, I trust we all got some value. My apologies. We went a little over. Remember, we used to do this. We'd go out for 2 hours at a time. So, appreciate you all hanging in there with me. But I want you guys this week practice saying, here's what we do next. Okay. Here's what we do next in your very next conversation. Even if it's conversation with somebody that's not business related, right? Hey, I'd love to sit here and talk to you, but what I got to do next is go reach out to more people, whatever the case is. But I want you to start practicing that, get it into your repertoire, right? So that again, when you're comfortable saying the words and they can come out of you without you having to think about it, then that's the best way to do it, right? Keep your emotions at that 5, in between 5 and 6, so you're not so excited, but you don't want to turn them off by being like apathetic and dead, right? So make sure you join us tomorrow, How To Tuesday and How To Wednesday with Virgil and myself. Next week, we're going to talk about stories over stats. So you're going to want to make sure that you guys be here on time, hopefully. But beyond that, if you guys got nothing else, I want to wish you guys a happy Memorial Day from our house to yours. Do something for yourself today. You don't have to work your butt off just because it's Memorial Day. Take a little bit of time, observe the date, know why we celebrate the date, and next week, this week, go out there and kick ass, take names. That's simple. Make it happen, Kathy.
Before you close,
Yes,
Coach,
yes,
Dorea made a comment
sure.
about her being surprised when people are following her, and I wrote back to her and I said, if you're not, if you look behind you and nobody's following you, you can't be a leader.
Right.
So because she has that, she is. So kudos to
Funny
you,
you say
Dorea.
that. It's funny you say that, and something just
Okay.
popped up in my head to share with all of you guys. So I won't get into all the specifics, but I recently got my Texas driver's license back. So for about 2 weeks, I couldn't drive. I had to have my wife drive just so that we were on the up and up and didn't get in trouble or whatever else. And she started noting to me while we were on the drive from here to Corpus. She said, "I know what it is. Every time I get on the freeway, I'm like always up here and everybody's way back there. You're leading the pack, baby. You're leading the pack. So go lead the pack, boys and girls. Go out there, kick ass, take names, have a fantastic